members acknowledging that they are attending via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated now.
Wayne County, yes.
Great. Next item is approval of the minutes from the February 25th, 2021 meeting.
All right,
Move
go ahead.
approval.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the minutes from the February 25th meeting. Any corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Anyone wish to abstain? Okay. Approval of the minutes? Yes. Thank you. Next item, please.
Unfinished business, there is none listed.
Next item.
We are moving to new business. Item number 1 is ratification of actions taken by Commissioner Alicia R. Bell, acting as chair through June 21, 2021, and Dawn Lee Cotton, acting as secretary through March 15, 2021 of the Wayne County Zoological Authority.
Is there a motion?
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there support?
Support. Oh, jinx.
Okay.
WAFA can have that.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on this item? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain? Okay, ayes have it. All right, next item.
So I'm sorry, Gagny, if you don't mind, Chair, if Gagny takes over, I just noticed that Gregory Terrell is not in the meeting. So I want to try to reach his office before we get to that item.
Absolutely, thank you. Gagny?
We're moving on to item D2, election of officers, chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary.
So unfortunately, I think every year we have to do officer elections. So at this point, are there any nominations for chair, vice chair, and secretary? Chair, of course, will run the meeting. Vice chair will run the meeting in the absence of the chair, and the secretary signs the documents when we have the millage levy to the zoo. Any
I
takers?
nominate Alicia Bell for chair.
Oh, wow.
Support.
Okie dokie. Any other nominations? Please. Okay. Okay, nominations closed for chair. Alicia Bell will move on for nomination for vice chair. Then we'll take them all in one vote. Any nominations for vice chair?
I'll nominate, let's see, David or Wafa. Anyone want to pipe in that they want to be that? Not hearing much.
You can do it. I don't mind.
Okay, vice chair, Wafa nominated for vice chair. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, nominations closed. Any nominations for secretary?
I think Mareki has it.
Okay, Commissioner Marecki for secretary. Yay.
Perfect.
Any other nominations? Okay, nominations closed. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to, oh, okay, Ron Dean, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve Chair Alicia Bell, Vice Chair Wafa De Niro, and Secretary Terry Marecki for
Move
officers.
approval.
It's been moved. Their support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, congratulations on the officers until this time next year. Okay. Thank you all again, I guess. Okay, so I do know that the purpose of this meeting was to approve and have discussion on the audit. And Mr. Terrell is not here. However, Mr. Dean is here.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Dean, and I suppose you'll be doing our audit report?
Yes, I'll be presenting the audit report, yes.
Okay, well, sir, you are up.
Thank you. Well, good morning
Good
to
morning.
the committee, and I'm glad to be here to represent the firm and to discuss the audit. Do you want me to share or?
If you can share your screen, I don't know if we need to do anything.
If you share the screen, I can go through the audit report.
Okay,
Okay.
can he share his screen? Or do we have it? If not, Mr. Dean, if you have it, and we'll allow you to come on to share your screen.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to share right now. Just a second. Trying to click on two. Oh, I see. All right, can you, just a second. Yes,
Yep,
can
we
you
see it.
see the audit report draft?
Yes.
All right. So my presentation is going to be high level to put into the record the audit reports, findings, so on and so forth. So I direct your attention to pages 1 and 2, which is the independent auditor's report. The report highlights a number of matters. The management responsibility of the financial statements reside with the authority, as well as the auditor's responsibility to express an opinion on the audit that we prepared based upon our testing to obtain reasonable assurance. And the third point is to state that the audit report has issued a clean opinion. Moving on to the next section, which is going to highlight the management discussion and analysis and summarizing to the financial information with respect to the financial information for the authority. Current assets of the authority at 2020 was $16,046 compared to $84,594. The difference being just the timing of remittances received, and the liability is the amount of property taxes, which is represented the current assets, which are due to the Detroit Zoological Society, are in the same amount of $16,046 in 2020 and $84,594 in 2019. Because the assets and liabilities are the same, but when you subtract them, that there was zero change in the net position during December 31st, 2020 and 2019. Moving on down on the same page, which is page 4, we're going to review the revenue. The revenue is generally property taxes that are remitted and received by the authority through the year. In 2020, that amount was $4,269,597. Compared to 2019, the amount was $4,647,575. Difference roughly, or a decrease, if you will, about $378,000 between the year. Expenses, which were the expenditures distributed to the Zoological Society, that totaled $4,262,317 in 2020 compared to $4,640,295 in 2019. Again, a difference of roughly a decrease of $378,000 between the 2 years. Professional fees are the audit fees. And again, that amount is the same for both years, and the total of which was $7,280. Again, looking at the total revenue and expenses, they agree. So the difference in change of net position is 0. Moving on to the budgetary highlight in the management discussion, I'd like to point out that the budgets didn't change between the original budget and the final budget amount, and that the actual expenditures during the year were less than the final budgeted amount. And this will be covered when we get to the supplemental budget section in a few moments. What I'm doing now is, because the governmental balance sheet statement of position is essentially the same as what we read before, I'm going to go past that, as well as in the next statement, the statement of government revenue and expenditures of change in the fund balance and statement of activity. Again, this information is very similar, or rather it is exactly the same as it was in the management discussion. For the sake of time, I will bypass that as well. Going on to the notes, to the financial statement, the notes described in summary the significant accounting policies for the authority in relationship to how they report their financial activities and liabilities. One point that I wanted to make is essentially just saying that, again, the authority is authorized to levy taxes of not more than 0.1 mil on real and personal property for a period not to exceed 20 years from 2008 to 2027. Okay. At this point, I'm now going to go to the supplemental information. The supplemental information, again, as I mentioned before, it discusses the original and the final budget amounts, which were the same as mentioned before. They did not change. And then looking at the actual amounts of the property tax revenue and the property tax expenditures. In both cases, actual amounts of revenue were less than budget by $68,762. And looking at the expenditures, again, actual expenditures were less than the final budget amount by $68,762. This is very significant, and I wanted to point this out, that in the previous audit report, the actual expenditures did exceed the budgeted amount. But I'm glad to report again this year that actual expenditures were less than the budgeted amount. Moving on, I'm going to the report on internal control over financial reporting and compliance. And I'd like to report that there were no issues with internal control and no recommendations during this audit. The next letter is going to be the management letter. And the management letter tends to discuss how the management operated and how their internal controls were designed. And I'm pleased to report that there were no deficiencies in internal control and there were no recommendations this year. The last letter is the communication letter. The communication letter is directed to the board of directors. And in this case, there are just a few points I'd like to make out. In terms of significant findings, I'm glad to report that there were no significant findings noted. In terms of difficulties in performing the audit, I was encouraged to note that there were no difficulties in dealing with the management of the performance and the completion of the audit. With corrected and uncorrected misstatements, again, any misstatements, if there were any, were detected and were corrected, and they were not material individually or in the aggregate during this particular audit period. Disagreements with management, I'm pleased to report that there were none. Management representation letter will be received from the authority pending approval by the board of this audit report. Management consultations. This is similar to a second opinion where there may have been an issue or something that came up to the effect where there was a disagreement of an opinion and a second audit, a CPA firm or accountant were sought out to get their particular opinion. But to the best of our knowledge, there was no consultation with other accountants during this engagement. And other audit findings, generally we discuss a variety of matters, including the application of accounting principles and auditing standards with management each year prior to being retained as the authority's auditor. But during these discussions, in the normal course of our professional relationship, and our responses were not a condition to us being retained. Lastly, I will be discussing the invoice. The invoice is Gregory Terrell and Company, invoice number 11742, dated June 1st, 2021. The detail of the billing is for professional services rendered in connection with the audit of the Wayne County Zoological Authority for the year is $7,000, including, I should say, plus out-of-pocket expenses of $280 for a total of $7,280 for this audit. At this time, I'd like to thank Ms. Pamela Lane and the Wayne County Treasurer's Office for their assistance to help us complete this audit on time. And at this point, I'd like to know if there are any questions. I would be pleased to address them.
Thank you, Mr. Dean, for that thorough report. Are there any questions on the audit? Any questions on anything with the audit? The good thing about, I think, this audit and what we do with this board is that we provide a pass-through from the millage dollars from the Treasury to the zoo. So, you know, we get the numbers in from the Treasurer's Office for how much we've collected. We take the percent per the millage, and then it's transferred over to the Detroit Zoological Society. So, any questions with the numbers? Any questions with the timing? In the past, we've had some timing issues as far as when the audit is complete and when we meet as a board to make sure that we do everything in a timely manner, but we've rectified that by having this meeting now. And I think we're getting better with our timeliness with the state, the audit, and the transfer of dollars. The biggest portion was our meeting to approve the matters that go to the state. So any questions? Any questions? Okay, very good. Is there a motion to approve the audit report?
I'll move
Motion
to approve the auto.
The audit report and the other items in that particular number.
Okay, the audit report
The billing.
and the billing, yes.
Okay, I'll move approval for that.
Yep, there's it's the audit, the management letter, the communication letter, and the invoice. It's been moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by
Support.
Mr. Katz. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain? Okay, ayes have it. Thank you again, Mr. Dean, for your time and for participating for our audit. Give Mr. Terrell our best.
Thank you, and thank you very much for allowing me to present. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, I did not ask anyone from the zoo administration to attend this meeting, but I will let you know that if you don't already know, Mr. Kagan's last day as the executive director will be in July. At the full board meeting for the Detroit Zoological Society, I have prepared a resolution wishing him well on his retirement. So there'll be many resolutions coming from many government bodies wishing him well in his retirement. There is a search actively going on at this time for a replacement. The hopes is to have that narrowed down and voted on by the board in July or August of this year. So that's just a big report on the zoo and where they are right now. They are starting, excuse me, they are starting to do some events back at the zoo, you know, post-pandemic. They're starting to do a few more runs and walks. A lot of organizations will have a lot of fundraisers there, and they're starting those up again. And they are actually have scheduled for this year to have the sunset at the zoo. Of course, it had to be canceled last year due to the pandemic. They've decided to have it on this year. I don't have the date in front of me, but I'll certainly let everyone know when I get that in case you would like to participate. That's all that I have. Any questions, comments from any members? Questions, comments?
No, thank you.
All right, next item.
Such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
No other matters. I guess that's what I just spoke on. So I
Can we talk
jumped
about
the gun a bit.
the schedule, Chair?
Yes, please. We have a schedule that was submitted this year at the beginning of the year. I do not believe we need, well, let me go back. I think we need to change those dates, the August and the 9th. We've had the audit meeting now, so we don't need to have a meeting in August. And instead of having a meeting in December, I'd like to know we can move that meeting up to September. And that would be the meeting where we approve the millage dollars. So if you all don't mind, maybe looking at your schedule, I'm going to propose possibly September 28th, 29th, or 30th. And again, that meeting would be to approve the millage dollars.
The 28th or the 30th are better for me, but I can also make the 29th work.
Okay.
I can do all three. We do have the Wayne County outreach call at 9 that morning and then meetings for the rest of the day. Like if we did it at 10 o'clock, I could do it.
And we have committee meetings. How does the 30th look for everybody? That's a Thursday.
Great for me.
That looks really good for me as well.
Okay, let's make it September 30th and 10 a.m. And that's again where we'll have the meeting to discuss the millage piece. We should have numbers from taxes by then and how much we're going to go ahead and levy to the zoo. Okay. All right. So September 30th, you have that noted, Madam Clerk?
Yes, and we'll get out the new schedule.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Next item, please.
Public comments.
Anyone from the public wishing to address the Wayne County, what is this? I'm about to say Wayne County Commission, but the Wayne County Zoological Authority. Anyone in the public wishing to make comments? Okay, hearing none. Next item.
Adjournment.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All right. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you on the 30th.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.